Hello and welcome to Jammu Links in Conversation with series. Our guest of today is a prominent professional. She is a renowned educationist who has gained herself a vital role in society for her exemplary work in her career. Her rise to prominence can be attributed by her strong willpower, caliber, dedication and leadership qualities. Ma'am, thank you so much for taking out time for us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you all this morning. I'll be happy if I can serve some purpose of your having this interview for me.
Sure, ma'am. You've been in education for a very long time now. So, what do you think are the strengths and pitfalls of our education system?
Well, according to me, I understand that today the education system has been reduced to a mere mechanism to serve, one can say, nationalistic objectives, may it be political, economic, military or any other, which are not actually looking for the happiness of children but their own ideological situations which are required for the young generation of today. Youth of today need to be empowered to gain that happiness and to gain the confidence, wisdom and humanity that can serve the society today.
Like you said, that it has become more of a mechanism kind of thing, and children are, most of the times they're writing in the papers what they're being taught word to word. So, do you think there's a need to change this to encourage freedom and creativity in the education system?
Very important. You are right that the rote learning that is being followed in today's education scenario has to be done away with, because we are not giving chance to the children to innovate or create something. They are just following what is written in the book, what is written by the teachers on the board. But I feel in today's time when the children should be competing at the world level, I won't say only in India. So if global education has to be our aim, then they need to be left to experiment, to explore, to innovate, to produce something creative for themselves and for others also. And I feel that will serve the societies at large.
But don't you think the kind of race we are following, where everybody wants to score above 95% to crack admissions in the best of the college, where the cutoffs are very high. What is the solution? If they are left for experiments, won't be their marks would be affected and all that. So what is the solution as an educationist you actually see that what can be done in this regard?
You see, I understand scores are also important in today's world. If you have to compete, most importantly to get, in some kind of professional line, scores are also important. But at the same time, we are forgetting the human values. Just to score 90% does not mean the child is very intelligent. Child is intelligent when the child is groomed in a manner where they are able to score, at the same time they are able to apply that knowledge into the day-to-day context or life context. That will be more important. I think we need to look for the solutions into that direction rather than just bookish knowledge and scoring in the exam just 90% and not getting enough of values. I'll give you example, like if the child scores 90%, but in most of the situations they are not able to get through the interviews. The reason being they are not able to communicate properly, they are not able to apply that knowledge when it comes to the actual life situations.
So seeking excellence is most important rather than just,
you can say, cramming the word by word.
If we see, there's a lot of peer pressure around it. Parents are this thing, and in adolescence also we see that you're infatuated by someone. Recently there was an incident of a suicide in Jammu where a student has committed suicide because he had proposed to some girl and that girl had complained to the principal and his parents were caught. I mean, I often wonder what kind of relationship he shared with his parents, that he was so scared that his parents would be called off at principal's office, or was he scared of the reaction from coming from the school authorities? So student life, I mean, there's a lot of peer pressure. How do you think, the parents as well as teachers can coordinate in a manner for the well-being of the student?
See, I see here both the situations, both the parents and the teachers have to work together. And the child who is in the growing stage, they have of course lot of inquisitiveness in them. So we as educationists as well as the parents need to talk to the children on the issues, you can say sex education or the friendship levels, how much and up to what level. So that has to be measured and spoken to, because some of the parents, they insist on picking up the stream of subjects of their choice, because maybe back of their mind they could not achieve what they wanted to, so they want to see that in their children. I think that's little expecting too much from the child, because every individual is different. The child may not be cut out for engineering, but we force the child to take the stream of science, but we are not giving the chance to the student to express his own mind, what he wants to do in life. So that creates a kind of pressure on the child from the parent side and the expectations of the teachers as per the subjects. So that's a mismatch kind of a thing. So why not to give the children little bit of freedom right from the beginning to express their ideas, involve them in their decision making process, whether it's with the parents or with the teachers. The peer pressure, if we are friendly with the children and we are in the natural process talking to them at length about their likes, about their dislikes, and there should be no restriction or binding that you are not supposed to talk to the females.
Yeah.
So if they are growing in a natural process right from the childhood, I think these problems can be sorted out.
You spoke about sex education, and you've been in education for a very long time. Back then, probably people didn't even talk about sex education. Do you think it's an integral part of the process? And which class is the right class for introducing sex education?
Sex education has to be, and in today's scenario, it is part and parcel of education system in the schools and colleges. But right age, I must say, right from the childhood, the child should know at least the differentiation between good touch and bad touch, which we as teachers and the parents have to tell the child to differentiate between the two. So age, I think it starts right from 3+ as the child starts understanding about the feel and touch and senses. So they should be taught about the good touch and the bad touch.
Have sex education class in your school?
Exactly, we do have.
And what class is that?
Right from beginning, I'm saying pre-primary, pre-nursery class.
That's very nice to hear, because I was going through an incident where a child questioned his mom and dad, what is sex? He was not answered then. The child was, I think, 8 or 9 years old. And he just Googled the word sex. And all the porn sites and all were, so he was not getting the appropriate and the right kind of information. So answering to their
Queries
is very, very important. I mean, pertaining to their age and this thing, it's very important to address that issue.
That's right.
Ma'am, we often see that parents try a lot of examination outside, maybe for Ajmer schools or Masuri schools. Isn't the education we are getting in Jammu compliant enough or to compete with that? I mean, why is it happening so?
Well, few years back, I will accept that there were not many good educational institutions in Jammu. But in today's time, I feel the schools in Jammu are equally competent and good. as we get outside in any other state. We are well equipped with good schools in Jammu. It's only that maybe some of the parents who are working parents especially, they want to put their children in the boarding schools, and there we are lacking. We don't have boarding schools in Jammu. So that could be one of the reasons.
What's your take on technology? We often find a group of children sitting in the same room. They won't be talking, but they would be chatting with each other. There are pros and cons of technology, but what's your take on technology? That do you think that it has made children smarter or dumber?
If I talk about educational scenes, that too pertaining to the schools, I think technology is very important in today's world. As I said, to compete at the global level and to have the understanding of global issues, what's happening where in the world, it's important to integrate technology into the teaching system. And if we are integrating the technology into day-to-day teaching system, I think children get used to it, and the right kind of search for their own youth, that is into the hands of the parents and the teachers as well. We can have some kind of security system where they do not go and open the sites which are not meant for them. Otherwise, day-to-day technology, I mean, there's so much of learning through the technology.
Most of the children come up with the same answers because they have Googled it on net and they've taken the answers from the top searches.
That can be handled by, discussing these things in the class with them. Teachers can discuss about the topic that she has given, and even if most of them have searched from the Google, and once we discuss and give some kind of questions to them, cross questioning in the classroom where we put them, a question that is different from the material they have searched from the Google, I think they will be curious to search something more and think something more about it.
Ma'am, you're presently with Jammu Sanskriti School. So, are you also responsible for designing the curriculum? And what is the school actually aiming at for the well-being of the student?
Well, this educational institution naming Jammu Sanskriti School has been coined with the idea, as we discussed today, that we should not be only imparting bookish knowledge to gain 90% scores in the examination. We are very much working on where we are trying to provide them holistic education. That means along with the academics, they should be able to gain human values. They should be able to serve the society, and they should be able to understand themselves and the others, their perspective also, what they want, other people also. They should be compassionate enough to understand other human beings. That is what we are trying to promote, and I hope, God willing, children will be the lot that will serve the society at large.
Are you also open to include Dogri in the part of the curriculum?
We have already done it.
Okay.
We are having Dogri as a third language subject right from class 4 to 8.
That's very good to know, because children are hardly speaking Dogri these days. Any last message for our viewers, especially to the parents and students who are watching us?
Well, it's not enough to make the children academically intelligent, but the most important part of education is to make them wise so that they are able to use this knowledge judiciously for the welfare of the society.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insights, for your thoughts. I'm sure the parents out there are listening to you.
Thank you so much.